Good morning, online students. This is Dr. Buer coming to you on the 6th week of classes. We are over 1/3 done, so it's pretty exciting to have that milestone behind us. Hope that you're doing well on this President's Day. My kids are at home because they obviously don't have school today. So if you hear any caterwauling in the background, it's them. So don't be alarmed. Everything's okay. But I did want to get in touch with you this week as normal, just to let you know what's going on and to make sure we're all on the same page for this week. On a personal note, I began teaching a series on prayer yesterday in my Sunday school class, the adult Bible class that I teach at church. And I have to confess, I'm really challenged by it. Of course, as like many people, have struggled with maintaining a really rich devotional prayer life. And so it's challenging me to assess that part of my life a lot more carefully than I have in the past. But it's also such a broad topic. Just covering it from a biblical perspective is going to be a real challenge. But at any rate, what I wanted to do is just to encourage you to remain strong in prayer, to realize that we can always go to our Father for our needs, and that Christ intercedes for us in heaven. So I want to encourage you to pray this week for your classes, for yourself, for your classmates, and for your ministries, so that the Lord might bless. Okay, without further ado, let's dive into our material for the week. In NT103 this week, we are starting our syntax practice. You've read through Wallace's text, you've kind of assimilated that material somewhat. Now we're going to start putting it into practice. But this really involves two major parts of the course from this point forward. We're going to translate a lot of text, and we're going to do study guides. Now, translation is obviously in some ways an end unto itself, but we're going to think about translation as a way to exercise our syntactical muscles, for you to think through options and for you to develop some sensitivity to the different options that are on the table. The syntax guides are basically worksheets which walk you through syntactical questions, grammatical issues relative to the text. On the one hand, they are meant to hold your hand as you're translating the text, but on the other hand, they are going to ask you questions that you have to make determinations on. And the goal is to do sort of a circular process. You've read through Wallace's text. You'll now translate and do the study guides, which will ask questions that force you back to Dr. Wallace's text, which then help you reevaluate your translation and the study guides, etc. So it's meant to be a circular process where you're going through the material and thinking through the questions multiple ways and in different, from different nuances and different, from different vantage points and viewpoints of the question. But keep in mind, there's a good way to do this and a bad way. The bad way is, let's just get the information down and move on. The good way is to really process and think, and that's what we want you to do. We want you to think about why you've chosen a particular category, what makes it fit, what in the context is really the issue. So use this as an opportunity to really reflect on the text. You'll notice that some of the study guides are completed for you. There's nothing to turn in. They're just basically filled out and should be considered examples, models, translation guides to help you work through the text. But then some of them are group assignments, and so you've been divided into small study groups to work on these assignments together. And there's an online discussion place where you can work on the study guides together, ask and answer questions, etc. So take advantage of that. These are meant to be an opportunity for you to work together, for there to be group learning. A couple of issues. Do not turn in an assignment until your group has worked on it. Because once one person in the group turns in an assignment, it's in for everybody. So you've got to be sure to coordinate and not to jump the gun, so to speak. Second thing is, be sure and remember that everybody gets the same grade. So this is meant to be true group work where you work together. I'd like to encourage you to all participate. I know that some people will be stronger than others, but please, everybody participate so that you can all grow on these particular study guides. And then what you'll find is once we get into the syntax, that they become individual assignments and you're essentially going to be on your own. So it's a way of kind of holding your hand and doing this, just dipping our feet into the pool, so to speak, a little bit as we go forward. If you have any questions this week, don't hesitate to contact me. I know there's going to be a lot of new stuff and a new way of doing things, but I do look forward to working with you on these assignments, and I think they're going to be very helpful to you. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this weekly video update. I hope it's helpful to you. Let me know if you have questions. Don't hesitate to contact me, and I'll look forward to interacting with you online. I hope you have a great week. Take care, and God bless.